Hello AP Biology students, we're going to go over the ninth section in Unit 3. And in this section, we're going to really start diving down into the different reactions and processes within photosynthesis. There are two main reactions in photosynthesis, the light-dependent reactions and the light-independent reactions, otherwise known as the Calvin cycle. These two reactions are going to be linked in the sense of the products of one are going to be the reactants of the other. In the past, we've mislabeled these reactions in the sense of we used to call the first reaction the light reactions and the second reaction the dark reactions. But that started a misconception where students thought that the dark reactions only occur at night, and they don't. They occur throughout the day. They just don't need light. The light-dependent reactions need light, so they have to occur during the day. Let's just dive a little deeper into the light-dependent reactions. These occur in the thylakoids or the thylakoid membranes of the chloroplast. And like their name implies, they require light. The whole reaction here takes in light but produces ATP and NADPH. A byproduct of this reaction is oxygen. This reaction also requires the input of water, but our whole main goal here in this reaction is to produce ATP and NADPH for the Calvin cycle. The Calvin cycle, or the light-independent reactions, occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. This is a process where enzymes are going to be used to take carbon dioxide and make it into carbohydrates, or sugars. This again requires ATP and NADPH from the light reactions. But it also requires the input of CO2, but we get sugar, our main product of photosynthesis. Two important molecules that I want to kind of dive a little bit deeper into are NADP and ATP. NADP is a molecule that's going to accept and deliver 2 electrons and 1 hydrogen ion in these two processes. Whenever it gains those 2 electrons, it's going to be reduced. Whenever it delivers them or loses them, it's going to be oxidized. I like to use the example or analogy of NADP being like a taxi. A taxi is going to accept people or take on people like NADP takes on electrons. Whenever it does this, it's going to again be reduced. So whenever it gains those electrons or people, it's going to be reduced. Whenever it delivers or loses those people / electrons, it's going to be oxidized. But these NADP are going to be reused time and time again and just are a way to deliver electrons to a certain molecule or to deliver people to a certain location. ATP, on the other hand, is a high energy molecule called adenosine triphosphate. And like the name implies, tri meaning 3, it has 3 phosphate groups. ADP is adenosine diphosphate. It's a lower energy molecule and only has 2 phosphate groups. I like to use the analogy that ATP is like a charged battery, while ADP is like a dead battery. To bond the last phosphate group back onto ATP, we have to have some input of energy. Whether that being from sunlight or just somewhere else, we have to transfer that energy back into our ATP molecule to energize it. But basically, this is a rechargeable battery, rechargeable molecule that's going to carry energy for us and deliver it to a cellular process. You guys will have to let me know which meme here you like the best. The 3 phosphate groups in ATP, pretty good. And then we have our 2 different dogs here, ATP and ADP, still pretty good.